Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, and when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
See, Martin Luther King Jr. was a prophet and a genuinely great man. Everyone has flaws in their past, myself included. But he was a great man. I've heard him speak. I was moved by Martin Luther King Jr. But we had a caller just now who was a Nazi, a fascist, an Iranian Nazi, who said that we should let the Hitler of our time come to ground zero, and that he's a great man and that the Iranians are correct because they hate Zionists. Then the Nazi said that he's not anti-Jewish, just anti-Zionist. Now, I want to tell you that Martin Luther King Jr. said the following, and I'm quoting him exactly. Quote, Martin Luther King Jr. said this: when people criticize Zionism, they mean Jews. This is God's own truth, close quote. I'll read it again. Martin Luther King Jr., this is a very important quotation. It should not be forgotten. He said this, not me. When people criticize Zionism, they mean Jews. This is God's own truth, close quote. Now, the American left created this fiction of a division between Zionism and Judaism, or Zionists and Jews, and consequently they gave a road, they created a highway of hatred for the neo-fascists of their time and the Islamo-fascists of our time. Cincinnati, Ohio. Sherry, you're on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Dr. Savage, I have a message for Saeed, or whatever his name was. Mm-hmm. I think he must have forgotten what Mr. Hitler did to the American hostages. So I agree with you. He needs to go over there and live.
Yeah, I don't know why there are so many people there glorifying the world of the Middle East, and yet they stay here collecting the money out of America. Why do you think they're here? He said he loves the freedom, but in Iran there is no freedom. There's no talk radio. There are no free newspapers. Women have been set back at least 100 years. People are hung if they're gay or if they put out newspapers that criticize this little Hitler. Why doesn't Saif go live there? It sounds like a perfect place for him.
It does. It sounds like the perfect place for him. And
he might even be able to join the government and kill people. And then he wouldn't feel so ashamed of himself for being a loser. Exactly. Thanks for the call. Martin Luther King Jr. said, when people criticize Zionism, they mean Jews. This is God's own truth. That's a quotation. I didn't invent the words. You see, Martin Luther King Jr. was many things to many people, but he was a truthful man to almost all people. And the fact of the matter is, he saw bigotry for what it was. He saw bigotry for what it was. So when he saw the cracker saying, oh, they don't hate the Jew, they hate the Zionist, that kind of caught on. That was kind of snappy. Well, now the Islamo-fascists not being too intelligent, they're all dummies by and large. They're pretty stupid. They all have low-paying jobs, working in warehouses and toilets.
Savage.
Peace revolution.